Hello, everybody. Before you click away, I know this is probably not the video that you were looking for or that you thought you were getting, but I highly, highly encourage you to stay and watch the entirety of my video just to kind of get a feel for the content that I'm putting out. So, my name is Vivian. I'm a part of Umo Inc. I am an aspiring creative director. I want to pursue my interest within design, fashion, video production. And these videos that I'm putting out kind of touch on the video production side of that, specifically in reference to doing the creative conception for music videos. So, again, like I said, I know this is probably not the video you thought you were getting, but I highly encourage you to watch it all the way through to really get a feel for the ideas that I'm putting out. So, again, my name is Vivian. This is my creative conception idea for FLO's song Nocturnal off of their Access All Areas album. Before I start, I highly encourage you to go listen to their album or even just listen to this song so that you kind of get a feel for what I'm going for. So, let's move on. So, right off the bat, as I was listening to the song, I was kind of getting this almost like techie feel, kind of just with the overall emphasis of the song. Like I said, I highly encourage you to go listen to it just so you kind of get a feel for what I'm really trying to like explain. But based off of the song and based off of the lyrics of the song, what I started envisioning was this almost like science-y concept or like the stereotypical aesthetics of like mad scientists creating in a lab. So, right off the bat, as I listen to these songs, when I'm trying to come up with, again, the creative conception for these ideas, I try to envision an opening scene, middle scenes, and then an ending scene. Or I try to go for an overall general overview for what the concept I'm thinking of. So, for this particular video, I was thinking that the opening scene could showcase the girls as scientists who are tasked with creating a pop culture product. So, you kind of see the girls sitting down to like do a deal. There's a line within the first verse, I think it's like Stella's verse, where she says something about signing on the dotted line. Again, highly encourage you to go listen to the song, look up the lyrics so that you kind of see what I'm talking about. But it's like the whole idea about making deals, making multi-million dollar deals, signing on the dotted line. So that's kind of what they're doing. They're scientists who are being offered a contract to create a pop culture product. And even as that line is being said, signing on the dotted line, you could even show like the visual of them actually signing the contract. So that's kind of what I was thinking for the opening scene. And then kind of like an overview scene for the MV. I was thinking that we could have not just the general plot line of the girls creating this product, but also cuts to like a dance number, kind of like how you see in their Walk Like This music video or the In My Bag music video, where you kind of have the general scenes going on and then you have this dance number that's also being shown. That's kind of what I was thinking. So again, we have the dance number scene. We have scenes of the girls working tirelessly in this lab. Again, they're trying to come up with this new like pop culture product. So we just see them working in the lab, and just based off of not just the general aesthetics for the creative conception that I'm going for, but also just the overall feel of the song. I was thinking that we would have some camera shots where it's like very shaky. We see papers fluttering around the lab. Like you just see vials going crazy, kind of just like the whole general aesthetic of like a mad scientist or scientist lab. That's kind of what I was thinking for these or some of the overview scenes. Now, Brie Runway. So, if you've listened to the unlocked version, which is kind of like a almost like extended version, so it's just Nocturnal Unlocked. That version has Brie Runway as a feature. So I was thinking that if they even wanted to do a music video for the Nocturnal Unlocked version with Brie Runway, there could be a scene where they almost like call up Brie Runway for the secret ingredient. So again, the overall plot line, if you will, of the music video is how they're trying to create this new pop culture product. So then you call up Brie Runway, who's a feature on the song, and it's like, oh, Brie, like, what's the secret ingredient? Like, what's the secret sauce almost? That's kind of what I was thinking for an inclusion of Bree Runway. And now the ending scene, so I was kind of thinking about this as almost like a mirror concept, like almost like if you've seen Tate McRae's music video for Sports Car and you've seen the ending, it's basically revealed as like her watching herself. So kind of something just like that, just like playing on the idea of how you're actually like creating yourself or watching yourself. That's kind of what I was thinking. And we see as the song comes to a close, we see the unveiling of this finished product. And the finished product is actually the girls as robotic versions of themselves. So they're like the perfected pop stars that they were trying to make essentially. So we see the girls as scientists, and the finished product is them as robotic, quote unquote, perfected pop stars that they're trying to make. That's kind of what I was thinking of. I think also another thing that I'll just throw in here, this was kind of a throwaway idea. Or at least I consider it a throwaway idea because I feel like it just didn't make sense. But another thing that I was thinking of was that, again, kind of coinciding with the Nocturnal Unlocked version that features Brie Runway, is that even as you get to Brie Runway's feature in the song, the extended version of the song, we actually see the girls, as in Stella, Renee, Georgia, actually see them creating their perfect pop star, and then that could actually be Brie Runway that they were making or that they were creating. So it's like when you get to Brie Runway's part of the song, you then kind of see her like come out of maybe like some kind of capsule or something, and there's smoke everywhere, and it's actually Brie Runway as like a robotic version of herself, and that's who they were actually creating. And then it goes into like this dance number with all four of them, or something like that. But I don't know. When I was thinking about that idea, I just kind of started to not like it. So I kind of was just like, but I thought I might as well just mention that. I still think the original idea that I have on here for the finished product basically being the girls as robotic versions of themselves, I think I would still go with that as like the main ending scene. That's kind of what I was thinking. So just to show you kind of a mood board here, I will also say this if I haven't said it already. All of the images that I use in these videos are not my original images. I'm simply just using these as visual aid, kind of just to show you the ideas that I'm going for. But yeah, so this is the mood board for what I was thinking. So again, this like really high tech, sciency aesthetic. This kind of like they're scientists creating in a lab. They're creating a perfect pop star. Like a perfect pop star entity. And again, it's actually them creating themselves. So you just kind of see like what I'm going for. You see this overall these overall rooms, I guess you should say. It's just this really like high tech, like sci-fi aesthetic. That's kind of what I was going for. So another thing I also want to point out is that when I do these videos, I don't just try to think about the overall scenes in terms of like, okay, so this happens here, this happens here, this happens here. I also like to try to be a little bit more detailed. So I was also thinking about some scientist, like quote unquote scientist outfits for them to wear. Um, I kind of wish I would have put in more images of like kind of like a scientist outfit aesthetic, if you will. But I kind of have some other ideas just on the drawing board of the kind of like outfits that I would like to see them wear in the music video. But again, this is just like the overall mood board for what I was envisioning and kind of what I was going for. So that's the end of that. I just want to say thank you if you watched this video all the way through. Like I mentioned before, I know this is probably not the video you thought you were getting. I'm sure many other FLO fans like myself really hope to see whatever visual concepts they have for their music video. But these are just kind of me throwing my ideas out there. Like I said before, I'm an aspiring creative. I'm just making these videos to just get my ideas out there, hopefully get an opportunity. And like I said, I know this is probably not the video you were expecting, but if you watched it all the way through, I like truly, truly greatly appreciate that because I'm really just looking for an opportunity out here to really just, pursue my creative passions. So if you want to leave a like or leave a comment or anything, that's also greatly appreciated. If you even want to offer any advice, that's also greatly appreciated. I'm always looking for new ways to try to improve or do things differently. So I really appreciate just any of you who've taken the time to watch this all the way through. Again, my name is Vivian with Umo Inc. And yeah, thank you for watching.